Brothers Enterprise, and it is my extreme proud privilege today to welcome none other than Dr. Ashwath Narayan, Honorable Minister, Government of Karnataka, Minister for Higher Education, IT, Science and Technology, Minister for Skill Development and Livelihood. Namaskar, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sir,
yes.
Please continue, sir.
Yes. Sir, first of all, congratulations on becoming the first state to implement the national educational policy. Your initiative is bound to serve as a model and a template for other states. You first translated the NEP 2020 policy document into Kannada. You formed an NEP task force and you implemented it. Please help us walk through this journey.
Yes, sir. It was a great visionary leader, our Honorable Prime Minister, which he initiated 7 years back to transform the way education is being provided in our country. Probably yes. That facilitation and the policy what has been given to the entire country, we were able to take it forward and implement in our state in this direction. Under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, we took all the initiatives, the previous Chief Minister and the present Chief Minister, they were all for it. That's how we were able to take it forward, and the entire team in the Higher Education Council and in the Secretariat and then all the University Vice Chancellor, they came forward, and we are in the process of implementation. Already the process of implementation has already started. The admission has already started. This month 23rd, last month 23rd, the admission started, and now the classes are going to start from the October 1st. Probably in this process, already I have mentioned, we did a lot of exercise in this direction, and in the state of Karnataka only the drafting of national education policy happened. We were lucky to have that. So since, with all these good reasons, probably I never thought that we will be the first state to do this. I thought we are on the same line, even other states also working in this direction. Probably it's an honor and a privilege. It has been so coincident that we got this privilege and recognition, which means a lot, and probably will take this as the greatest responsibility. And from all the direction, all the people have been working. Probably this flexibility in the education, it is completely student friendly. There's nothing, not even a single point going against the interest of the student.
Absolutely. Now, very simply put, as you mentioned that, the national education policy is based on the Indian ethos, and it also aims to update the Indian education system for the 21st century, for the current time. Is it that Karnataka is highly suited to it, since we all know that the state has great traditions and heritage also on one hand, and it is the IT hub of world on the other hand?
Definitely, the present what was existing earlier had a lot of limitations. It has already had become completely irrelevant. Today, in the 21st century, with the emerging technology and integration of the technology, facilitation, because the learning has got no boundaries. Now, this digital education system also will facilitate, and with the net connectivity and a lot of information availability, this conversion into knowledge needs to happen very effectively. The facilitating of these things will trigger a lot of good way of learning among the students, particularly if you look at the fundamental itself, the fundamentals of, pedagogy, curriculum, complete revisal of the curriculum, the pedagogy, the assessment system itself, the present summative assessment, changing over to the formative assessment. It's a great reform. It's a really, definitely, I tell you, the students are going to change the way they're going to learn, because at present it has been more of a rote learning.
Yes.
So the rote learning, it used to be more so for the sake of scoring marks.
Yes.
And
Not
getting some
understanding.
kind of qualification. So this is not going to benefit either the student nor the society. The knowledge needs to be given in a right, proper way, with the right concept understanding that will help the student to have a better learning, so it becomes more of a creative and a critical thinking can be brought in among the students, so that they start questioning and the more curiosity will be built, and the way they are going to be assessed also as per the new formative assessment, it will be more into, unless the student wouldn't have understood the subject, he'll not be able to answer. So getting the student to understand and ensure he's going to learn properly is the biggest reform. And more so earlier, as you know very well, there was a lot of art separation. There was a lot of art separation between the curricular and extracurricular, between academic and vocational skill, that is the skill training. And art student couldn't read anything more about the science. The science student could get an opportunity to study about the arts. There are a lot of limitations. All these limitations will be now overcome, and the technology is going to play a very big role, as you rightly pointed out. The blended learning of almost 40% of the digital learning has been permitted, and the collaboration and the partnership with all institutions. By doing so, we can connect with any of the best institution. What is not available in that institution, or school or college, can be availed in some other institution, either through virtually, or through digitally, or through physically. So we are trying to ensure the student gets the best, to bring the best out of him. Utilization of whatever available resource in the society is very important. Earlier it was very rigid. Whatever needs to be tried, everything should have been done only in that institution, within those four walls. Now we're trying to get out of all this.
Now it's more. It's the entire ambit has widened.
The ability is there to reach out anywhere, to get the best of the best training wherever available. Facility, if it is available, the common facility available can be availed by anybody. And more so, your point, why Karnataka is suitable in that way. Karnataka has been a pioneer in the education field. Many of the higher education institutions, whatever has been opened, it is all most of the institution and the national importance. The Center of Excellence institutions are also located in Bangalore, in Karnataka. And we have a lot of advancement in technology. GICCs are there, research centers, GCCs are there. So now the collaboration between the innovating industry and the invention industry means a lot. The technology is also going to facilitate in a very big way, and the edutech companies are also having a large presence in Karnataka and particularly in Bangalore.
Sure. Now this policy, stresses on digitization of the content, that the content should be digitized and the delivery. Now, preparing the digital content in such a short span of time for such volumes of content can be challenging. How is Karnataka addressing that aspect? How are you using technology so that the entire content which is then in physical can be digitized?
Sir, with regard to this, already we initiated more than 1.5 years back itself. We initiated in this direction with regard to the digitalization of the education. We brought in a comprehensive learning management system in the state of Karnataka. Through that, now all the government institutions, are networked into the learning management system. And to facilitate the learning management system, all the classrooms, now we do have 8,000 classrooms in government institution, almost 2,500 classrooms. Now we are internet-enabled smart classroom. They have become internet-enabled smart classroom, and we are providing devices to all the students. So far, we have provided more than 3 lakh devices to the students who are pursuing education in government institution. This year also, we are going to provide more than 2 lakh devices. Probably comprehensively, the entire loop is complete. The comprehensive learning management system is in place. We already curated more than 3.5 lakh classes already has been curated. 3.5 lakh classes have been already curated, which can be given readily to any of the students. They can learn anywhere, anytime. The learning can happen anywhere, anytime, and the content is far excellent. And assessment also can be done digitally now. With the assessment which I was talking about, the formative assessment also can be done through these devices. And along with that, the unified university college management system also has been brought in to ensure the governance and whatever coordination between the institution and the government and all other institutions, the university, everybody will be part of that loop. The good work, whatever has been done for past 2 years, is coming to help, and we are able, so thereby we are able to take it forward.
Absolutely. The fruits of everyone's labor is now come to seen. Now, sir, if I may ask you, how do you plan to implement it, especially in higher education and at school level? What is the schedule, if you could tell us about it?
The National Education Policy recommends for the implementation of the policy, 15 years time has been given.
Okay.
But the state of Karnataka, we have decided to implement the entire policy within next 10 years. In this direction, already the classes are going to start for the higher education from October 1st. The classes are going to start, and all the necessary preparation with regard to the complete curriculum will be model curriculum will be given to the respective university, and further they can add or delete whatever they want. They can do with regard to the curriculum and the framework and the choices of subject. Everything is been done in higher education. With regard to the primary and secondary education, the necessary preparation has been going on since because of the COVID, the classes had not started for the primary and the secondary education. There were a lot of issues with regard to the starting of classes. But there itself, there was a lot of uncertainties. So gradually, the entire preparation has been also done for the primary and secondary also. It's a matter of time, which all the initiatives with the formal launching will happen, and our Honorable Chief Minister is going to launch the NEP for the primary and secondary also.
Sure. Now, since you mentioned about the pandemic, that unfortunately, since the past 1.5 years, the world is reeling under a pandemic and school and colleges had to be physically closed, remote learning was the only way that students could get education. Do you believe that today what is existing, the online mode of learning, will prove to be a blessing in disguise when you implement the NEP?
See, many a times it's better to have a hybrid variety. It is better to have a hybrid. Only online, many students few students are able to learn through online. Not all the students will be able to learn online. And more so, the peers, the presence, the classroom, the presence of the student and learning together in the offline, it makes a lot and a huge difference. Probably we need to ensure the offline and online goes hand in hand. That will be more conducive and more progressive and more facilitating to the student.
Absolutely. Now, concerns have been raised, as you rightly mentioned, and I'm coming to that point. About some sections, there is digital divide. Not all students have the necessary gadgets, the kind of bandwidth, the kind of investment, and not all places have that kind of internet fiber connectivity. Do you believe that will that be a hurdle in implementation of the NEP, the digitization aspect?
Definitely, sir. A lot of improvisation has happened. Definitely, there's been a lot of improvisation with regard to the net connectivity or the broadband connectivity. There have been a lot of improvisation has happened. The penetration has been really good. We are trying to ensure that 100% net connectivity or the broadband connectivity will be provided across the state, and in this direction, the digital infrastructure is going to be scaled up in a very big way. It's a matter of time, and already there has been a very good penetration with regard to 4G available in more than 85% of the geographical area. The 4G availability is there already existing. And with regard to the device, we are trying to establish the computer labs in all the schools across the state. In all the schools, there will be a computer lab for the children to learn. And with regard to the net connectivity also, we are trying to ensure that 100% net connectivity will be there, and thereby the student will get the best advantage of this, and as well as the visual facility also through many of the learning programs have been provided through the TV, the TV media. The TV media also we were able to make use of it, and we are trying to reach out. At present, we are able to give the learning program through the TV media. And it's a matter of time, as you rightly pointed out, already many schools, there's a computer labs are already existing, and many more, wherever it is not existing, we are ensuring all the places there will be a computer lab. So thereby we will ensure there will not be any divide, digital divide in the society. And on this regard, the government is giving topmost priority by the government of India as well as the government of Karnataka. Is strongly working in this direction.
Absolutely. Now, broadly speaking, Ashwath ji, what will be the fund requirements for the NEP implementation?
The NEP, has made it very clear the 6% of the GSDP should be spent for education. At present, we have been spending 1.8% of the GSDP for the education. Probably, if society needs to improvise, the society needs to get strengthened, and equality, if it has to be brought in the society, or if the economy has to improve, it can happen only through knowledge sector, innovation, technology, and science. So if these things are not emphasized, the economy cannot grow, nor the people in other fields, let it be in agriculture, any field, from agriculture to satellite launch, all the places, the knowledge plays a very good, important role. So with these good reasons, with these few good reasons, the government needs to spend. Anyway, it has been emphasized and it has been made very clear in the national education policy that 6% of the GSDP should be spent on education. Probably in this direction, government has to prioritize and work. Our government has started looking in this direction. Our spending is going to increase and we are going to channelize. It's a matter of time that we are going to reach this 6% from 1.8
to 6%.
Now it is only 0.28% for higher education. For overall education, it is 1.8% of the GSDP has been spent. So we have been impressing upon the government and we have been insisting that we need to increase the budget and as well as the spending in the society for education.
Sure. Now, what has been the initial response to the NEP from all the stakeholders, be it students or colleges, schools, institutions? What is the response that you're getting?
Many of the people earlier, they were not aware about what is it all about. What do you mean by new education policy or the national education policy? They were not clear. So for the past more than 1.5 years, we are trying to create a lot of awareness among the people about the national education policy, about the academic reforms. See, there are two parts. One is academic reforms, another one is about the legislation and administrative reforms. Now we have got into the academic reforms. So this academic reforms is whatever they have been learning at present, there was not much of flexibility with regard to the choice of subjects, with regard to the multi-entry and multi-exit, or the fundamentals and principles of education was not really sound enough, good enough to ensure that their learning is very effective. So in this direction, we are trying to, so when we shared to the people, this is what we are trying to bring in the national education policy, then they were extremely happy and they were feeling that now the present education system is going to emphasize more and more about Indian ethos and he is going to make, and is going to become truly 100% Indian, which will be very well accepted as by the global system also across the world. The better acceptance will be there, and he'll become a truly global citizen, a truly Indian citizen, and which will be widely recognized. By getting a right education, he'll be definitely conserving our culture, our tradition, and ethos, and as well as we'll be getting a very good knowledge, and the way he's going to learn is going to make a huge difference for the industry and for the entire society. The quality naturally will improvise and ensure that India will become a strong, a self-reliant, and a future-looking country.
Absolutely. Now, my last question, Ashwath. How do you envision? You said that Karnataka will take 10 years now to implement it. Say 5, 10 years, 15 years down the line. How do you envision the effect of the new National Education Policy 2020 on the society as a whole?
Since we are trying to tell the society very clearly, see, you want to see a better future for the entire country, for the society, for an individual, as in a community, as in a family, as a state, as a country, as in a city. You want to see future, you need to see your future through the educational institution. If you strongly believe that should be the belief in each and every person, that institution is going to get me a better future. So all of us should join together to strengthen each of their education institution wherever they are residing. They should feel this is the only way forward. So all of us need to work in this direction of strengthening that education institution. Through that, all our future can be built. So what needs to be done, whatever lacuna is there, whatever shortcoming is there, we need to strengthen and address all those shortcomings and prioritize all this thing and get the best of the best education. And education is something, it doesn't stop within a day. It is a continuous process. But anyhow, at least in those learning age, where we are supposed to learn in those particular age, at least we need to emphasize a right learning is provided so that in future days also we'll be able to take a better learning. So with this clear message to the society, probably we'll be having a better standing. And with regard to the water roadmap we are having for the next 10 years, probably it will be a very good start by doing this. Very good start, and already we have got a head start, and we have been working in this direction, and it will show the society how it is going to transform. Even our Honorable Prime Minister has mentioned very clearly when we are going to celebrate the 100 years of centenary celebration of the independence.
Absolutely.
The next 25 years is going to transform the entire society from where to where we'll be heading. That real mapping of the progress can be shown how this new national education policy, the new national education policy 2020 has made a difference in our country, can be really shown within the next 25 years and will emerge as the best country, the most progressive, the most developed Vishwaguru of the entire world.
Absolutely. And just before we end the interview, because Karnataka has been the front runner when it comes to technology. Bangalore is the first IT hub of this nation. And how does Karnataka, further plan to deepen its digital economy? I mean, you now see that there are a lot of startups coming up. Payments are happening digitally. Transactions are happening digitally, more so after the pandemic. How does Karnataka plan to take itself digitally to 2.0?
Yeah, in this direction, very well, all the aspects needs to get digitalized, let it be in health sector, education sector, governance, administration, e-commerce, all possible business, let it be financial services, everything is getting digitalized, and through technology, we are facilitating everything. So we need to further strengthen and promote the digitalization in our society. This is the way forward. And state of Karnataka has been given a lot of initiatives in the startups as well as many areas wherever we can incubate and come out with a better solution for all the problems. Whatever problem being faced in the society can be effectively tackled with a new technology and a new solution and a new innovation. Probably in this direction, all the sectors from agriculture, if you look at the agriculture has become now digital agriculture.
Yes.
So the transformation and the implication is there in all the levels. Now government also is trying to, it has become a necessity of the net, as you rightly mentioned, the net also has become like a water. The net connectivity is also like a lifeline. So the government is ensuring the digital infrastructure will be provided to reach all the remote corners, and the services will be available on the tip of their finger. So we are coming out with many initiatives and policy changes and cyber laws and cyber security, so that the facilitation will happen in a very effective way, and the concerns and monitoring and the maintenance also will happen effectively. So this is going to become the norm of the day. Now the entire world, particularly the COVID-19, is completely shifted from physical world to the virtual world.
Yes.
So this will be the way forward. So we are trying to work in this direction, and all the villages now, because of the COVID, the people living in the major cities all started migrating into the respective towns and villages. Probably we could see the progress in all the places. Now earlier, the progress and most happening places would have been only the major cities. Now in future, we can see all the happening in even the smallest places.
Yes.
Probably this is the way forward. We do expect and we do want to, and we want to encourage in this direction. So we are doing whatever best for the encouragement
inclusive growth
and promotion of the technology.
Inclusive digital growth, yes. With that, Ashwath ji, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Visionary Talks by Governance Now. It was an absolute pleasure hosting you today, and thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for also watching us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashwath ji. Jai Hind.